Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I'm doing a little mini review and 3 looks on the Viseart Dark Edit palette. This is one of the looks that is going to be featured in the video along with 2 others. I got this palette on sale at the Sephora Friends and Family sale. I think there might be a sale going on right now. I don't know. I don't keep up with Sephora sales unless there's something like Sephora specific that I want. And this one, this little buddy, is $39, which is a lot for a little tiny baby like this. First of all, I love the packaging. Like, it opens up like this. And these are the colors in it. And first of all, I love this color story. This is very me. I love purples and greens and like warm toned orangey colors. That's kind of my staple go-to in my wardrobe. Like literally, I'm looking over at my closet right now and these are the colors that you will find in my wardrobe. And so that is like point number 1 in favor of this palette, because I think sometimes my makeup style doesn't always necessarily match my fashion style, if you know what I mean. And so it's nice to have something that I know like I could kind of pair with just about any outfit that I own, and it would look really good and I don't have to think too terribly hard about it. So I do have one other palette from Viseart, and it's their Dark Mattes palette. I also got that one on sale because I'm never buying anything from Viseart full price, but I really like this one. I think I might almost like this one better than the bigger Dark Mattes palette. I don't think the shadow formula is necessarily different, but I think that this color story definitely works better for me, and maybe it also just feels better on my conscience because this is about half the price of that. So I think that this is really lovely. I especially really love like the 3 purple shades here. I really love those. I think the mattes are great. The mattes are the same formula as all the other Viseart mattes. They work really well. They blend really nicely. For me, kind of the standout actually was the shimmers. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Viseart shimmers, and I don't understand why. It's what I have like across my lid. And no, it's not like the most like chunky, glittery metallic, but they go on really nicely. I just pat it on with my finger and I feel like they perform so well. They're really easy to blend. They just look really nice. And I feel like with this palette too, I haven't had a single look out of it that has looked bad. I feel like every time I use this, I always get compliments on my makeup, on my eyeshadow specifically, which is really nice because, you know, I have an ego that I would like to be stroked on a consistent basis. The only shade I haven't really used is this brown up here, but that's just because I'm not a huge brown person. I don't think it detracts from this color scheme, and I think that if you're into a little bit more neutrals but want to try something a little colorful, that might be helpful in you using this palette. Now, is it worth the money? Is it worth $39 to get this? Well, first of all, with the sale, I paid like $35. That was a whole like $4 off. Oh my gosh. I think I would actually buy this again full price, because for me it's not necessarily the quantity of the eyeshadow that you get, because if you could see my makeup collection right now, I have so much eyeshadow and I personally really love that. But I recognize that, you know what, maybe if you have a smaller collection, if you don't wear as much eyeshadow, or like you're more of a 1 or 2 palette kind of person, this might not be the greatest choice for you because the shadows are so small. But for me, I know that I go through shadows not quickly at all. There are only a few palettes in my collection that I have really truly hit pan on. And I feel like for me personally, I have to deliberately decide to like hit pan on an eyeshadow palette, because I'm very much like, I'm very easily distracted. I like bouncing from one palette to the next and trying different things every single day. So something like this is actually really nice because it does get me really good Viseart level eyeshadow quality, because I think Viseart is one of the only like luxury professional type brands that I would actually say might be worth the money. Again, I say that very hesitantly because I don't want anyone to spend money that they don't have on something like this. But I do really like it, and I think for me it was worth it for me to get something like this that I get consistently really good looks out of. that I always know it's gonna have something fabulous to wear on my eyes, something very easy, something that goes with everything in my wardrobe. So personally, I think that it was worth it in that regard. I am not out here to tell everyone to go and spend $39 on a miniature eyeshadow palette, because I don't think that's my place. You decide your finances, and if this is a color scheme that you like and you want to try the formula and you feel like splurging a little bit on yourself, you know, I think that this could be a good choice. However, I think that there are also other palettes that might have a similar color scheme that might be a bit cheaper. If you just want the color scheme and you didn't, you know, feel called to try the Viseart eyeshadow formula, or, you know, you didn't want to spend this amount of money on something like this. So it really is just like down to, you need to analyze your own personal finances and say whether this would be a good choice for you. I think for me it was a good choice. I have been using this so much. I do not regret this at all. And I think that this is something I'm going to be using for a very, very, very long time. So that's why I'm saying it's a good investment, but you just need to be able to analyze that for yourself. I will also note that it doesn't really have a whole lot of light shades in that. I don't mind, because kind of something that I've really come to discover about myself in the past year or so is part of me loving eyeshadow so much and having so many palettes in my eyeshadow collection. I personally do not feel the need to have, you know, a brow bone shade or anything like that in every single palette that I own, especially when there are so many eyeshadow palettes out there that are more fit for someone with my skin tone and will have a brow bone shade for someone with my skin tone. I don't think that I need one, you know, in every single palette that I own, especially when it would detract from a beautiful color story like this. Like, even though I haven't really used this brown at all, I don't think it would have been like, you know, life-changing or anything to put like a light cream shade in its place. Like, I think that this just like is more visually appealing to look at it this way, if that makes sense. If you are thinking to yourself, oh, I would quite like to feel fancy and have something like this in my collection, you know, I wouldn't say no, you shouldn't do it, but I am saying that this is something you should like think about. So I think that's kind of all that really can be said, because I think these specific shades, since I have used most of these in this tutorial, I always feel like the looks themselves will speak for themselves, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna hop on into those. Okay, so for this look, I really want to work with the purple shades in this, and I kind of want to do like a halo eye look. So I'm going to begin by taking this really vivid purple shade here, and I'm going to use it on an e.l.f. crease brush. I guess y'all can probably infer what that means, but I am gonna just go ahead and put that in my crease. And then I'm going to kind of blend it up to my brow bone a bit. And I'm also going to put that on my outer and inner corner. Okay, now I really want to deepen that up, so I'm going to take that dark purple right next to it. This one. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to use that same brush, but I'm going to kind of go a bit more precisely in the crease and outer and inner corner, just so I can really deepen it up and add a little something something to it. Okay, now for the shimmers in this palette, I really just like to use my finger, so I'm just going to take the purple shade and I'm going to pack that all over my lid. I'm using my middle finger because that has a little less fingernail on it, so I'm less likely to stab myself. And I'm just going to take that previous brush and just use that to blend everything out. And I'm going to go back in with a lighter purple shade along my lower lash line. And then for my liner, I really want to use this one I got from ColourPop called Piggy Pig. piggy bank, excuse me. I'm just going to pop that along my waterline. And this palette doesn't really come with a like inner corner highlight shade, so I'm just going to take Starburst from the AB Sugar Glow Kit, and that is what I'm going to kind of pop in there to highlight. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my mascara and the rest of my face, and I'll be back for the finished look. Okay, so for my lip gloss, I'm using the Fluid lip gloss in Spectrum, and I know that this one is kind of overdone, but I always really love using this lip gloss when I do a purple eye look. I just feel like it looks really good. And this is the finished look. Okay, so for this look, I want to play with more of the red and yellow tones in this palette, so I'm going to begin with this shade right here, which is kind of a mid-tone red, and I'm going to just use that as my crease transition shade. I'm taking it on this big ol' Wet n Wild crease brush. It is huge, it is messy, it is grungy, but it does the job. And I'm gonna put that on my outer corner as well. Okay, so now to just deepen everything up, I'm going to take the darkest red here, and I'm going to just use that on a more precise blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to take that closer to the center of my crease, as well as the outer corner. So now I want to do a little bit of a cut crease with that really pretty gold shade in this palette. So I'm going to take my e.l.f. glitter primer here, and I'm just going to take that on a really precise little like pencil brush, and I'm going to use that to lay down a base for the cut crease. And I'm using a glitter primer because I kind of just like want this to pop as much as humanly possible. I should have put more on there. And now I'm just going to take this bright gold shade here, and I'm going to layer that on top of the glitter primer. I also really like to use my finger for the shimmers in this palette, but right now I'm using a brush to do the cut crease effect because that'll just make it a bit more precise. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shade. And then I'm just going to take more of that darkest red shade and use that to blend out the outer portion of the gold. And I'm going to kind of use that to deepen up the crease a little bit as well. And now for my lower lash line, I'm going to use more of that burgundy, and I'm just going to precisely kind of put it down there as close to the lash line as possible. And I'm going to usually just kind of use this on the outer portion because I want to do something a little special on the inner part. Okay, so for the something special part of the inner portion, I'm going to use this bronzy orangey shade, and I'm just going to put that on the inner portion of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to use this liner from ColourPop. This is from their Stranger Than Diction set. It's just this burgundy, and I'm going to put that in my waterline. I also realized I don't have an inner corner highlight, so I'm just going to go in, I'm thinking with Marshmallow from the Anastasia Sugar Glow Kit here, and I'm just going to pop that in there. Okay, so that is basically finished. I'm now just going to put on some wing liner and mascara and lipstick, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is my finished second look. If you're wondering what my lipstick is, it is from Apocalyptic Beauty in their shade Mojo. I really like this because it's like a nude but not. So yeah, finished look. Okay, so for this look, I'm kind of gonna try and do like a grungy halo eye type look. I haven't done one in this technique that I want to use right now in a long time, so I'm gonna just hope for the best. So I'm gonna begin by taking the olive green shade here on a Wet n Wild, just like fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to fluff that into my crease and kind of blend it not all the way up onto my brow bone, but like close. And I'm gonna put that on the outer and inner corner, but that's probably gonna get covered up real soon. Like, spoiler alert. Okay, so now what I'm gonna cross my fingers and try is taking this black shade here, and I'm going to kind of like, I'm not just gonna use it to deepen it up, but I really do want the black to show up. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it, because this is a little bit more of like a subtle black. And I'm gonna just put that kind of in a more precise way through that same place. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go back with more of that olive green and try and blend those two together. I think perhaps if I take that on the smaller brush that I used for the black, then that might. I'm also trying to make sure that my mirror doesn't like get in the way here, but. And I am going to clean this up in a little bit with like a brow bone shade, but I really did want to kind of just do all of this first. Okay, so I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. Now onto my lid shade, I want to do this olive green shimmer just so it can match my MASH t-shirt. I don't know. Can y'all see that? Yeah. Best show ever. And I'm just going to take that on my finger and press that on the center. Okay, so now before I go on to my lower lash line, I'm gonna do my face makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I did my face and I also added a bit of black liner on my waterline to just kind of get things started. I'm a little bit nervous about how this look is going, but I'm also just gonna hope that it looks better once I add like my lower lash line and like mascara and lipstick. So we're just gonna see how this goes. I honestly just want this to kind of match the crease, which is kind of how I do my eye looks in general. So I'm gonna begin with the olive green again, and I'm going to use it to kind of really smoke it out. And I'm gonna be a little wild and wacky here and really just like kind of bring it down. Make it extra grungy. This might be a bit much. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I saw someone on Twitter who does a lot of looks like this. I forget her name, but I saw someone doing a lot of like really just like grungy smoked out looks, and that's kind of how I want to look always and forever. So, and then I'm just gonna take more of the black and kind of put that a little bit closer to the lash line, just so it can kind of blend with the black liner and the waterline. Okay, I'm kind of liking this one a little bit more than I did before. That's good. And now just because I want to be a little extra, I'm going to add kind of an emerald green light duochrome on the inner corner, just because like this palette doesn't have a whole lot of like inner cornery shades and I want to be extra, so there we go. Okay, now I'm liking this look. Okay. This turned out fine. I'm okay. I can stop worrying. Okay, so now I'm just going to do my lashes and my lips, and I'll come back for the finished look. Okay, so I'm back. I decided to be a little bit adventurous with my lip color. Normally I would probably choose something a bit like Elf Praline or something like kind of a cool tone mauve-y nude, but I got some Fluid lipsticks in the mail, and I have been kind of really trying to try out the different colors and do new and unique things with them. And this is in the shade Silver Future, and I really like it. I think this is cute. So this is the finished third look. Alright y'all, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I will see you on the next one. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!